Welcome back. We're here to have a look at the divine masculine. Okay, I'm just making sure the microphone's not muted. I'll probably have to check this recording later to check whether this has not been muted. Now, for those of you that don't know, my name is Yildiz from Yildiz Readings. I'm a psychic medium, clairvoyant, intuitive astrologer, and we cover your spiritual path, lunations, transits, and more. We also do have online our Sage in a Circle network, which is our exclusive membership. If you want to sign up for that, you can find our landing page and visit the website. Our website also does host some free PDF guides straight into the read. Now, we are looking at the divine masculine this week and what is coming up with their energy. And this was always going to be a very, very interesting month. Because of integration, those of you that watch other twin flame channels, those that directly understand the correlating frequency between the spiritual energy, the tarot, the oracle, the psychic energy, as well as astrology, because astrology directly is directly impacting their ascension process. And, this was really an activation month for those individuals and for us individually. Now we're coming to this pivotal portal post-moon in Aries. And, I can really see this subject matter coming up in these individuals' lives. Now, for those of you that are in the direct connection, I'll go into a few tips and guidance. And again, you can book a reading. I'm putting the current energy up on the screen. For those of you that are in no communication, how this is going to show up for you. And I may go into doing within the members some joint energy updates, but we're going to have a lot of integration. There's going to be a lot of self-focus at the minute within all of our individual lives, almost like, how can I explain it? Personal revelations. It doesn't mean no connections. That's how I will place that. Now, we see the divine masculine this week, looking at relationships, investigating their mind. And, they can feel a bit, how could I say it? We look at the investigation of, screening their mind. Okay. This is asking deeper questions, thinking before they're acting. And these are revelations. And what does Aries do? Aries shows up and does. Saturn restricts. We had that, conjunction point. We're looking at life at the moment. The divine masculines in their mind are looking at the things they haven't done. So what we're going into as that transitions is the revelations of action we need to take. And it's funny that this individual actually has their elbow sitting on a mushroom. Now, why do I feel that reference point is so important? The one thing I had said to you guys, especially in spiritual connection, psychic energy, within our own lives as well, the North Node in Pisces has created a lot of fogginess, and we tend to get revelations when, say, for instance, Neptune's in that house and then it retrogrades. We're like, oh, heck, I really missed that. And it brings us back to a reality sense. So we have been effectively Alice in Wonderland. Not as much now because we have moved away from last month's energy of the Mercury retrograde. We've come into this space where our eyeballs are peeled wide open. We're having revelations. We're also really looking into our heart space to say, hey, what was the dream? How do I get off path here? How can I get back on path? How now can I actually make some significant steps to correct situations and loosen the shackles to liberate thyself so we all can move in a direction that feels authentic and truthful and responsible, because Saturn's requiring maturity. Some of you directly that have had interactions with karmic cycles with your twin flame, there has been connotations of maturity. And, maturity all comes with the ascension process. It comes with transitions. Many times we can project these things, but this is a brand new chapter for these individuals. And this month was going to be pretty important. So it's a little bit like if you have something major going on in your life, not necessarily suddenly is everything going to flow right away. But unlike things are going to move, trust me on that one. So these individuals are having significant shifts, and you know, they could have a bit of a shock of the new. That shock is like, wow, I've got to look at this. You know, this keeps coming up for me, and what have I done about it, and what do I need to do now? Now, as we look to the most recent past, even in our own personal ascension process, we may have looked back in our life, and you know, we're human, and gone, well, am I crazy? Is there a connection here? Was I dreaming things up? Am I seeing things that other people aren't seeing? You could even, it's almost like, you know, one of the descriptions I've used over the years, Pisces to Aries, is waking up after going out on a night on the town and thinking, you know, this is karmic reference, right? And then realizing the person who's next to you is not a king or a queen. It's Shrek, but not your cup of tea. Like the veil will peel back, and in some cases that can be, hey, they're actually who I thought they were. But sometimes it can be, this isn't what I thought it was, and I feel this is what's coming through for the divine masculine. How the heck did I not see that? Oh, you know, the interesting thing is we see the depiction of the individual on the card holding a cat. And what do cats have? They have 9 lives. So this is another chance to create a new reality, to create a new way of being in tribe, being in family. And we then go back to the heart of the matter. Now, these changes, you know, sometimes even when we go back to the past, the card drops down to a 5. Whenever you see the 5s in your spiritual path, I recall when I started seeing the triple digits of 5s, I was like, oh, wow, 5s, you know, and I was like, heck, did I realize how much would change? Generally, if something ends, something moves into place extremely quickly. And I feel for these individuals, they might have been even feeling very similar to you. Like, when is something going to change? Why is nothing going my way? We first have to have that integration, and then we move into this frequency where things physically start changing. And I do directly feel with that 5, that's going to the path position now. It's almost the shock of the new. So how that can show up sometimes is breaking down of an old relationship, breaking down of a career, landing in a brand new house. And, you know, at the time when it happens, it's quite a shocking event and you feel quite insulted that that's happened. But then on the opposite side of it, you're like, wow, you know, how did, you know, maybe this person have been really grappling with, how do I get to the other side of this? How, you know, we've got them investigating, you know, we've got them investigating and tuning into it. And now they're in this heart space of saying, how the heck did that happen? How did I get to where I am right now? Okay, grounding, returning to reality, which why is that? As referenced, we're in the Aries energy, which is very realistic. But we do need to be cautious about our sources. We need to be cautious about who we're trusting. I wouldn't say be fearful. Sometimes we can be too quick to make judgments, but I think this is more to do with the past. I think this is more to do with the fact that they are in a space at the moment where they're saying, hey, I'm really looking at the toxicity in my life at the moment. What sucks, what doesn't, what's hot, what's not, what resonates with me, what doesn't, where was I placing my value, my heart, my life, and what really, to the core of it, strip back like an onion, is really, really important. What you know, you see this person here with it's always tea time of going, I'm quite fed up with this. This can even be saying to thyself, it's like, I've really got to ditch this habit. And sometimes, yes, that can be health related. Very common in an ascension process that, you know, you can really get to a point where your eyes are wide open. And so with that being shredded away, or you moving away from those old patterns, suddenly you look at things very clearly. Now, at a foundation level, look at this person. They're literally looking at the cherry. It's like it's hanging on a, you know, it's almost like off a fishing hook. It's like you're going to take the bait. And we see the person well aware of looking, it's a little bit like somebody tempting you, you know. So you say you're referencing the point that you've decided inside your mind that you're on a diet. Just an example. And, you know, you've told everyone, you've made the commitment, you put the energy in, and then somebody comes along and says, do you want some cake? I'm not saying there's not healthy cake out there. And this person has worked really hard over the last few months. And they're like, you know what? I know where that takes me. I'm taking the bait. I know what you're doing. And, you know, sometimes this can be a karmic individual. But look at the person's face. I'm buying what you're selling. I'm not buying what you're selling. Now, are they, you know, I definitely picture this person sitting there in their physical surroundings like a mad at a tea party with all the situations around them going, what the hell am I doing? What the heck am I doing here? Like I keep hearing people, places, things, jobs, relationships, whatever isn't working, however they directly perceived it before, it's totally chalk and cheese now. Again, foundation, nonsense. Look at this person. They're like, okay, we're going to have to talk about this. Now, this is where I think the action comes in. This is where, and, you know, I'm not surprised by this. I know the lunation's moving into next month. This is some home truths coming out. Some dirty little secrets being exposed. And, you know, what can those dirty little secrets be? Look at how the person's holding the Queen. Now, I do feel the feminine archetype with the golden hair is depicting the inner emotions of the divine masculine. And the strict individual behind them can be the Saturnian energy. And I'm seeing this person holding a queen, and it's like, I kind of know what I want. And now I need to fess up to myself first, because that's where it happens, the house of self. Look at them, whatever they're doing. It's always tea time. Do they look enthralled? No. These are two people ignoring each other, two people in different worlds. And we see that all around the world at the moment. Different belief systems, and it's okay because we're all having our own individual reality. However, we do need to have our own reality. We can't just live and exist for another's reality. We have to honor their reality, but we also have to honor our own. You know, we can't just, it's not about faking it any longer. Aries has nothing to do with faking it. It's authenticity. It's raw grit of acceptance of who self is, warts and all. Acknowledging the mess up, acknowledging maybe you went down a path and, you know, crap, what do I do now? This at a foundation level isn't what I want anymore. I don't know why, and I'm really sorry, but this isn't for me. And it's the love and the compassion for what it was before, but also the integrity and the respect of saying it how it is. Now, we look at the outcome cards. And this person's going to need a little bit of time, but it's like, you know what? The funny thing is, I think this is a great outcome card. It's got a clock. It's got the cat on it, the 9 lives. It's in reverse. Use your time well. Now, it's a 6 energy. Make every moment count. Now, I feel that what this is saying, which again, I will say I do find this positive. All of us can directly relate that many times in our life, we are looking for the most perfect moment. And guess what? There is never a perfect moment, to be honest. Many times I felt I always wanted honesty and then had revelations that I wasn't ready to hear the truth. Now, nobody's really ready to hear the truth, but does it hold integrity? 100%. So, like I said, this person here, the nonsense card, where it comes to their relationships, their contracts, their partnerships, their feelings, this is about coming up for air and being honest. This is about dealing with the elephant in the room. And it's going to be surprising. For many people, this is going to be surprising. For the individual who is connected in this vibration, for the individual who's experiencing it, and for the joint connection, shocks and surprises. Can this transition into next month? Yes, but the auric energy is already there. Now, does that mean they're running into your arms in 24 hours? Don't expect that. First, the person has to honor who they are. Then the person can make steps. You more than likely, if they were in a karmic relationship, for instance, you probably, with all the water under the bridge, wouldn't trust the situation if they just skipped into your arms. But, you want that chapter closed. You want for them to be at closure and peace with that. That doesn't mean to say movement can't happen. That doesn't mean to say it won't happen. Sometimes things wrap up inside of it and the person's been pivoting and the person says, you know what, I might have made that reference that was going to happen in 6 months, but now it's happening tomorrow. It's quick. Whatever this is quick. Don't even take the slight, how would I say it? If a blockage has occurred due to a career, for instance, or proximity, or a home, or family, even one little cog in a wheel can change the whole storyline significantly. Don't underestimate the gravity of this situation. And if you want to check in with your direct connection, the person, you can go directly to the website link below. We do have all of these out at the moment to the public. And yes, I do need to upgrade this and decide which thumbnails I'm going to use. I'm still undecided, but they are all out this week. And again, by visiting our website, you can find our membership. We have a landing page for it. And there you can sign up to it. You can read up on what is on offer. And by signing up, you'll get notified about its grand opening. Otherwise, tell me how this lands. And feel free to share and support your collective community.